Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. If you can find a seat, we're going to get started. Hello. All right. Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Rotary Club of York, where our mission is to improve life in the city of York by connecting our club's diverse community leaders through fellowship, action, and service. What a beautiful day to be here off-site at the Revs. It was a beautiful walk over from my office. I am your president-elect, Wilda Rima-Lessie. In case you didn't notice, I'm not Courtney, or President Courtney. And if you don't know by now, President Courtney had a wonderful birthday present yesterday with the birth of her son, Gio. So we're going to send her a little Rotary message, and I'm going to say a really quick congratulations, and then Ben is going to pan the room as you all wave and say congratulations to Courtney and her family. So on behalf of the Rotary Club of York, congratulations to Courtney, Dom, Lucy, and little baby Gio on his early arrival. So congratulations, Courtney. What a fun day today. So as you know, we start off our meetings by reciting the four-way test. And this week we do not have our slides, so we're going to test your memory. And I hope that I'm not the only one saying the four-way test. So if you will please join me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Good job. Give yourselves a hand. So today our opening song, the Star-Spangled Banner, and the pledge will be led by past President Brian Tate, followed by the invocation by past District Governor Dick Brown.
Thank you, President-elect Wilda. If you would all join me in facing the flag in the outfield and removing cover. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before we have our wonderful prayer, would you please join me in a rousing rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game? Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out in the old ball game. Go get 'em, Reds!
Well, thanks for that tee-up, past President Brian.
All for you.
Awesome as always. Thank you. Well, may we please join our hearts together in prayer as we celebrate and give thanks for two outstanding teams gathered here in this majestic skybox, York Rotary and York Revolution. Grant us the grace we need to be good teammates, that our contributions to these teams may make others better, and that the experience may be more fruitful because of our participation. Give us the courage to sacrifice for the good of our team when necessary, and the wisdom to know when to do so. We thank God above for the bounty of ballpark food and for those who have so lovingly prepared it. To all we encourage and celebrate the Rotary mantra of service above self. And may we all say, Amen. Thank you.
We're going to do our visitor introductions collectively today. So if you're visiting our club today, I would ask that you please stand. I know we have more visitors. All right. And a special welcome to our 3 seniors here from William Penn's Bearcat baseball team. A special shout out to Yuri, who was Student of the Month last month. So thank you all for being here with us today, and I invite you to join us again soon. And now for some announcements. Yes. Condolences to Rotarian Tom McCracken on the death of his mother at age 99. She was a polio survivor and asked that donations in her memory be directed to Rotary International's Polio Plus Fund. The Membership Recruitment Committee will meet today immediately following this meeting here in the conference room at WellSpan Park. I believe that's just out here. The Youth Literacy Committee will meet on Friday, April 25th at 9 a.m. on Teams. The Membership Engagement Committee extends congratulations to Frank Dittenhafer on his 25th anniversary of being a member of the Rotary Club of York. He joined this week in April of 2000. So Frank has been a Rotarian for a quarter of a century. So congratulations, Frank. And congratulations to past President Jackie Summers, who will be honored tomorrow by Martin Library as their 50th honoree for her significant contributions to our community, including her contributions as a Rotarian and a past president of our club. And now I would like to invite past President Mike Summers to the podium. He's the chair of the program committee. He's going to make an announcement.
Thank you very much. So, here's a trick question. Who is in charge of doing programming for our Rotary Club each week? Can you raise your hand if you're in charge? Everybody's hand should be up. Everybody's hand, right? Because that's exactly how we do the programming. Each and every member thinks about somebody they talk to, they come across, and they go, that person would be a great person to speak to Rotary or would become a great Rotarian. And they call me or email me, and I do prefer emails, and that's how we do our programming each week. So we do 50 programs a year. It's not just the committee. The committee is wonderful, but the committee really is a committee of the whole. So that's what we do each week, is that we process all the suggestions, and then we come together and say that would be a great program. So if you're enjoying the programs each week, it's your responsibility to help, and we need your help. And come May, where's Lynn? I know where Lynn is. 14th. May 14th is our committee meeting, and we will be getting together as a committee to do the next 6 months. So if you have a great idea, if you've talked to somebody at a cocktail party, across your neighborhood, doesn't matter where, and you go, that's the right person, that's who we'd like to know about. So I will tell you this, though, that we will have many, 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 many more suggestions than we can possibly run. And we are a business community or business group. And so we do lean towards the business programs, but we are also a community group. And so we try to give you programs that represent what's happening in the community each and every week. So with that, thank you. And please do not send me suggestions on May 21st, because it'll be 6 months we'll have to wait to talk about that program. So please get it in today.
Thank you, Mike. At this time, I'm pleased to ask fellow Rotarian Eric Menzer to the podium to be our MC for today's program. Eric joined the York Revolution as team president in 2010 and recently transitioned to a new role as vice chairman.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to WellSpan Park, one of my favorite days of the year. I have to give a shout out. How appropriate that Frank didn't here for celebrating his 25th anniversary in a space that he redesigned for us in 2019 when we built this. So good on you, Frank. And it's a really good day because all I have to do today is introduce the speakers and then try to keep them on time. So with no further ado, Rick White is in his 12th year as the president of the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, a position he came to after a career with Major League Baseball and as an executive in the sports apparel industry. Under his leadership, the Atlantic League has transformed what used to be called indie ball, that is independent baseball, into a full partnership and a critical component of the Major League Baseball player development system. Please welcome back to the Rotary podium, Atlantic League President Rick White.
I think for several of us, this is the favorite day out of the year, and you would expect that I would say that would be opening day, but it's really not. For reasons I've described before, this truly is my favorite day of the baseball season, and I'm grateful to the club and I'm grateful to the Rotary for having me back. Thanks so much, I really appreciate it. This is our 27th anniversary, and that does not include a COVID-riddled year a few years back. That's truly a remarkable accomplishment. And the founding fathers of this league continue to have their vision fulfilled with the men and occasionally women we attract onto the field who are getting a second chance in the grandest professional baseball showcase of all, to get back to the next chapter of their careers, whether that's Major League Baseball, an international league, or another post that has to do with our profession. And gentlemen, I salute you. You have no idea how good you really are, and there's not a person on this side of the room who doesn't wish they weren't sitting there right now. I want to congratulate, first of all, the entire Rebs organization, but especially my seatmate here, Mr. Forney and his team. They won the championship last year, 4th championship in Revolution history. Rick has been an incredible addition to the Rebs family. I don't say that to patronize him, but he knows how I feel about him. I know how the organization feels about him. Most of all, I know how his opponents and the rest of the league feel about him. They don't like his team coming onto the field because they're so good, but they respect the man, they respect his integrity, and they respect the way he goes about his job. So he's a tremendous asset to this community and to our league, and we're grateful. I also want to congratulate the two gentlemen here to my left. Ben Shipley, congratulations, Ben, on your ascension to president of the club. We're delighted to have you. Ben's giving me an eye roll because this means I take an hour of his time every other week, and he's got to listen to me drone on to he and his counterparts across the league. But also to my left, Eric Menzer, a great friend and again, a great asset to the Rebs organization and the community. Congratulations, Eric, on the new job. Our last off-season has been one that you probably haven't had a chance to have particular insight to. But for the third time in the last 2 years, we've added a new ownership group into an existing club. And each time we've done that, we've upgraded the quality, the stability, and quite frankly, the operating integrity of the teams they've joined. So last year, it was Andy Kaufman and Andy Sandler with their respective investor groups. This year, it's Byron Sackett and Charles Garamoni who have acquired the managing control of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. This is good for a whole host of reasons. This strikes a particularly resonant note with the York Club because of an unfortunate event that took place last August when the club was visiting Southern Maryland. And sometimes it's better to have a fresh start, move forward with a clean slate, and that's exactly what's going on in Southern Maryland as we move ahead. We have a couple of potential clubs that we believe we will expand to here in the next 24 months. These things are always pivoting around a couple of factors. Not interest in the league and not qualification in terms of investor, but the ability of a community to help us secure a venue that is appropriate to the Atlantic League. So we're in deep discussions right now with 3 communities. Of those 3, 2 are going to emerge, and I'm really excited about where we're headed as we move toward a 12-team league. We're also evolving our governance as a league. Now, I normally wouldn't talk about that in this group, but I think it's important for you all to know that the founder and chair of the league, a gentleman by the name of Frank Bolton, is moving forward with his life and his career. And again, that normally wouldn't rise to the occasion of this conversation. But Frank, in his role as chair of the league, is being replaced by somebody you all know, and that's Bill Shipley. So I'm delighted to say Bill is our new chair. Bill would want to be here today. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you this, but he's escorting his mother and her caretaker back home today, and sometimes family takes precedence over some of the other wonderful events we get to enjoy in our lives. Moving ahead, our test rules that we enjoyed with Major League Baseball just a few years ago continue to pay legacy dividends to our league. Eric mentioned one of them. We were the very first Major League Baseball partner league. We continue to be the preeminent partner league. But some of the things that you're seeing down in Camden Yards or any other big league ballpark have a direct line of development back to our league, whether it's larger bases, whether it's fewer timeouts, whether it's countdown clocks, whether it's a whole host of other rules that we worked actively with Major League Baseball to help accelerate the game and reinsert more offense and dynamic action into the game. We're really proud of that. And as I move forward today talking about some of the things we're doing, I think you'll understand how we continue to track that legacy and move forward on our own doing things that others wouldn't think to do. We continue to attract the very best players outside of Major League Baseball organizations throughout their affiliated list. These guys are tremendously gifted. But I'm going to give you a stat that you haven't thought about before. We have 26 player rosters on each of the teams in our league. 10 teams, 26 players, that's 260 players. Last year, including our off-season, we transferred, you ready for this? 74 players back to big league organizations or international leagues. That's almost 3 full rosters. It's hard to truly comprehend how that makes every one of us feel. This is the only place I've ever worked where we're happy when people leave for a better job. And we do that every day with our players. I'm delighted to tell you we haven't thrown a pitch yet, but we've already transferred 2 player contracts, one of which is to the SSG Landers, which you've never heard about before, but they're in the Korean baseball organization. And again, these international assignments are a growing part of our business and a great opportunity for our players and the furtherance of their careers. We're really excited about that. We expect we're going to have another banner year. By comparison, and players, you'll love this number, we transferred 60 players last year to big league organizations. That was more than any of the other 3 partner leagues in aggregate. That gives you a very good window into just how talented these gentlemen are. So that's why we're in the game. That's why the league was founded. We continue to honor our founding fathers, and that's what we do. We're working on 2 things I think you'll be most interested in. Eric happens to be chairing a broadcast committee for the league. Now, I can't give you too deep a peek under the covers, but I think I have a pretty good idea of the company we're going to align our streaming broadcasts with. They will help us improve the quality of our production. They will help us re-energize the way we generate revenues on behalf of all of our clubs. Most of all, they are going to give us the opportunity to reach far outside of our lane and bring in other partners with which we will participate in something that's more than just Atlantic League streaming broadcasts, but truly something that develops into a streaming sports channel. It'll be Diamond Sports for the most part, but think about all that encompasses. But I'll give you an example of our aspirations. Bill Shipley, Andy Sandler, and I were in Cuba last fall. Now, I should tell you before I go any further that the company we're looking at is a Canadian company. The chances are very good that we'll be broadcasting Cuban baseball over the next several years. Pretty cool, right? And then second, I want to talk to you about this little baby. Now, you've heard me talk about our baseball before. We produce our own baseball. We've done that for what is now the 4th year. We do it because of quality, and we do it because of pricing. We've saved our teams nearly $800,000 over the last 4 years in terms of the acquisition of baseballs. That's pretty good. But we've done something this year that nobody until now has ever thought about in any kind of sport with any kind of instrument, and that is we are putting a QR code on our baseball. Now, for those of us who were introduced to baseball at an early age, it was because we learned how to play catch, usually with a family member. Think about that imagery, and think about taking this piece of equipment and using that to trade off that imagery of having a game of catch, but with the recipient of a home run, a foul ball, a ball that goes into the stands. They can now activate a relationship with the Revs or any one of our other 9 teams in a way that's intimate and gives them more than just a souvenir to take home and put on their bookshelf. So we're really excited about the possibilities of this. We expect that we'll have some people mimic this in the near future. But again, this is the way that the Atlantic League continues to drive a legacy of innovation. By the way, I should add that all the QR codes are distinctive to the teams that host them. So the Revs baseball will not only have the signature of the league president and the managing general partner, which is Bill, but the QR code is going to be specific to the Revs. So their messaging is unique and it's community oriented. I will travel to Hagerstown on Friday night, where at 6:31 we will collect the first baseball with a QR code on it in the history of the game. and we will then submit it to the Hall of Fame, where we expect it's going to become our third baseball as part of their permanent collection. So we're very excited about this little device and hope you have a chance to take a look at it. I'll talk more about that tonight at the ownership meeting, or the owners meeting, but we'll go from there. Let me just close by saying thank you. It is always my sincere pleasure to be here. I wish I could do this more often, but I live far away, so I have to travel to get here. But thanks all very much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Rick. And now for our second Rick. Rick Forney is entering his third year as Revolution manager, and of course, what a spectacular first 2 seasons it has been. In addition to the obvious, as Rick mentioned, leading the Revs to our 4th Atlantic League championship last year, Rick was named Atlantic League Manager of the Year, and he also had a less noticed and very rare accomplishment. At our game on July 4th last year, Rick earned his 1,000th career win as a manager. To put that in perspective, our research shows that he is only the 3rd manager in over 25 years of any partner league history anywhere in the country to achieve that mark. And of course, he's still going strong, currently sitting at 1,038 career wins, and we're very lucky to have 155 of those on behalf of the York Revolution. To introduce your 2025 Revolution team, please welcome Rick Forney.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here with everybody and see some familiar faces. And this is an exciting day for me. Not my favorite day of the year, but it is exciting. My wedding anniversary and Thanksgiving is a little more special to me. But it gives my players, especially our new players, an opportunity to kind of see how excited our fan base is about the York Revolution, and that's really important because we want them to kind of understand and enjoy what goes on around here and be a part of it. And it's a really exciting place to play. Last year was a great season. 2024 was really good for the good guys. Don't ask me how it turned out so well. We had a good group of guys that played really hard every day. And as Rick White was talking about, you know, this league is really, it's about 2 things. It's about moving your players on, player transfers, and trying to win baseball games every day. And we were fortunate to do that last year. I believe we had 8 contract transfers during the season. We had a 9th guy who was our closer, got signed by the Rockies in the middle of the winter. Usually when you lose that number of players during the course of the season, it's kind of hard to keep your train on the tracks because it's nearly impossible to kind of replace the type of players you're losing. And for us, I mean, we had really good guys, and that's why we were winning games. We played really hard, but it attracts a lot of attention, and people start getting picked up. And it was happening with us in a flurry of activity, and I wasn't sure how we were going to keep pace. I mean, when we lost Donovan Casey, who probably shouldn't have been here more than a month, but he was here for a while and probably looking at being the league MVP in the beginning of August. And Colton Welker, he got hurt, and we lost those 2 guys in the middle of the lineup, and wasn't sure where our run production was going to come from and how we were going to keep pace with some of these teams. But we just got fortunate to add some new friends that really came in and impacted our roster. One of them's here today that joined us late in the season, wound up being maybe one of our most impactful guys in the postseason. But it did turn out really well. We're glad a lot of guys got picked up, and glad we won a championship. But with that being said, you know, 2024 is over, and we're very much looking forward to this season and what that brings. And so without further ado, I just kind of want to introduce our new friends that we have here in town. And we're really excited about this group. You know, they're good baseball players. I wouldn't have brought them here if they weren't good players, but they're good people. You can tell just by interacting a little bit with them, and I think they're going to represent themselves, their family, and the York Revolution very well. So let me introduce our guys. Our coaches we got coming back. Joe Harris, want to stand up and say hi. Joe lives here in York. He's back. Derek Wolf, our hitting coach, is back.
And we have a new trainer this year. Is Juna in here with us today? Megan Haas, who was our trainer the last few years, is now with the New York Mets and the AA organization there. So Juna Curry's a local girl, and she was hired by WellSpan. She'll be our new trainer, and we like her. She works really hard. So let me introduce you to some of our guys. We have left-handed pitcher Ian Churchill, comes to us from the Blue Jays organization. Right-handed pitcher Chad Coles comes from Youngstown State University. We have right-handed pitcher Noah Denoyer. He was from the Orioles organization, was recently on their 40-man roster. Right-handed pitcher Hunter Dola, got to AAA with the Giants. Right-handed pitcher Lucas Galdoni, second-year pro, comes from the American Association. Right-handed pitcher Dylan Hall, was AAA with the Mets. We have right-handed pitcher Mauricio Javera. He's played in the big leagues with Phillies, with the Giants, and with the Red Sox. Where's Mauricio? There he is. We have left-handed pitcher Jordan Morales. He started his college career at Penn State and ended up at Purdue. Right-handed pitcher Foster Pace, who joins us from the Lincoln Salt Dogs organization and American Association. We got right-handed pitcher Tyler Palm. He comes to us from the Twins organization. It looks like he's going to take up a lot of room on the bus. We have right-handed pitcher Cam Robinson. Cam led the minor leagues in saves in 2022. Was on the Brewers organization. We got left-handed pitcher Zach Veen. He was drafted by the Twins. He comes to us from Sioux Falls in the American Association. And we have left-handed pitcher Matt Walker, was in the Tigers organization, was in the American Association last year. We currently have 3 catchers with us. We have returning catcher Michael Berglund. There he is. We have catcher Paul Mondesi. And we have catcher Will Simonite, was in AAA with the A's, Phillies, and Cubs. We'll introduce our infielders here. We have Ryan Higgins, who comes to us from the Orioles organization. We have an old friend back, Jalen Miller. First baseman Frankie Tostado, AAA with the Nationals, spent some time in the Giants organization. We have infielder Osvaldo Tovalin from the Cardinals organization. We have York County's own from Redland High School, Mason Walker. And we have infielder Jeffrey Whaler, who's in the Blue Jays organization. He got picked up out of Staten Island a couple years ago. We have 4 outfielders. One of them sick. Is Justin Connell here? Justin's not here. He's sick. Yeah, he was in the Nats organization, making AA in Harrisburg. We have a familiar face for you guys. Tomo Odosaka is back with us this year. Hi, Tomo. We have outfielder Jarris Richards, set the Frontier League record with 75 stolen bases in a year. Then Ulrich Solari is back. He was the Division Series MVP last year against Lancaster in the postseason. That's all I got. I look forward to seeing you guys at the ballpark this summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. And Rick will be around for a few minutes after our program today if you have any direct questions for him. Now, I'm not going to say too much about our final speaker because he's going to tell you his own story. I will just say, not to embarrass him, that I've known Ben Shipley since he was about 5 years old, and he and my daughter Frances were chasing soccer balls around York Township Park. As a transplanted but longtime fan of York, I am particularly excited to now have the opportunity to support Ben as he steps into a major family, business, and community leadership role. Please welcome the new President and General Manager of the York Revolution, Ben Shipley.
Thanks, everybody. I just want to say first, right off the bat, it's such an honor to share the podium with these three gentlemen who just spoke. All three of you are highly esteemed professionally and personally by me, so just want to get that clear and out of the way. You guys are awesome. Congratulations, Courtney and baby Gio. I can't wait to have you guys out here. And good afternoon, Rotarians. My name is Ben Shipley, and I represent the 5th generation of York-based Shipley Energy. Today, I'm honored to have my fellow Rotarians, teammates, and friends visit WellSpan Park as I begin my journey as president and GM of the York Revolution. Side note, for those wondering in the room, yes, I still hold my position at Shipley Energy. It's been a busy few weeks. Thank you, York County Veterans Outreach, for sponsoring our 50/50 raffle for the year and bringing us these patriotic jerseys, which will be worn on July 3rd for a patriotic bash. Is Jackie Summers in the room? There she is. We've spoke a little bit about baseballs today, and my creative director behind us, Cody, has a video queued up for us about a social media post. And
this is the most innovative baseball league, but not the way you might think. See, starting in 2019, the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, an independent league on the East Coast, began testing new technology and rule changes in partnership with Major League Baseball. The league's first big test was in 2019, when they became the first pro baseball league in the country to use an automated strike system. In fact, in their 2019 All-Star game, the league even tested having the computer system. The Atlantic League was also the first to pilot rule changes that eventually made it to the big leagues, like limiting defensive shifts, adding ghost runners in extra innings, and increasing the size of bases. They also tried some failed rule changes that never made it past the testing stage, like the year the league tried moving the mound back 12 inches or letting players steal first base on a wild pitch. However, one innovation that executives at the Atlantic League are currently most excited about has to do with the new baseballs they're rolling out this year. Now, it's no secret that during a given season, a professional baseball team goes through a lot of baseballs. In fact, the Atlantic League says that each team goes through around 8,000 balls every season. Across all 10 teams, that's 80,000 baseballs the league uses every year, with a lot of those being lost to foul balls that end up in the hands of fans. But what if there was a way to make money off of those lost baseballs? Well, that's the idea league president Rick White had after the league started sourcing their own balls in 2022. This gave them the power to add custom QR codes to every baseball for every team before the start of the season. The idea is teams could use these QR codes to reward fans for collecting foul balls and potentially sell sponsorship tie-ins that could change daily or even within a game. One club has already sold this QR code to a local law firm, which is hoping to build its identity and website traffic. But the possibility for custom promotions are endless. To read more about this project, check out Terry Lefton's piece in the Sports Business Journal.
thanks, Cody. And for those of you wondering why I was throwing baseballs out, a little bit of Rotary lore. Jackie was in my place a few years ago and was throwing baseballs into the real baseballs. These are foam stress balls into the crowd, and it did not go over well. She still hasn't lived it down, so we're just going to keep that joke alive. Thank you, Jackie. Baseball's always been a part of my life. Growing up, I recognize how fortunate I am to have gotten to learn the game through an organization like York Little League, winter training sessions at the Y, attending O's games during the Cal Ripken era, and attending Revs games as a young adult. One important lesson in the sports arena is that the game is so much bigger than any one team or player. That's something I got to learn as my good fortune led me to visit every MLB stadium throughout my teenage and 20 years. Taking off 2 or 3 every summer with my father until I finally got to the Trop in 2022. It's not that bad. It gets a lot of shade. The game of baseball has truly always held a special place in my heart, and I've begun to grasp the reality that there's so much more that goes into putting on a professional baseball game that nobody ever sees. Of course, you've got the players, but there's a whole back office, front office staff, and game day staff that are integral. Since 2007, the Revs have etched their important role into our beloved York community, and it's because of the partnership of so many people in this room today. And I can't continue to talk about York's professional baseball success without recognizing another fellow Rotarian in the room, Eric Menzer, and his ability to admix with remarkable grace the Revs and our community's citizens over the last 15 years, which has gained him many accolades, board and committee positions, sometimes for better or for worse. But he's a high-profile person in York who's being recognized in just a few weeks at York's 37th annual Distinguished Citizen Celebration. And where would I be without his guidance and that of his wife, Kendall, who's been keeping the books for the Revs since 2021. To lead a team into the season without the team culture they've built and passed over to me is such a gift, and I cannot convey with words how grateful I am to have Eric and Kendall staying with the team as they enjoy some free time together. Please join me in saying thank you, Eric, for sharing the mastery of your craft, that is your love of leadership with the York community, and for passing me a championship team to build around. Baseball is America's game, and it brings people from all walks of life together to watch a great group of talented players eat good food and have fun with friends and family, and I'm excited to be a part of that tradition. Whether it's organizing players, umps, and engaging with our fellow Yorkers to get as many guests out to the game as possible, ordering food, beer, and fireworks, and crafting ideas into reality, like the mid-inning fruit race, and getting paid sponsorship deals delivered to our sponsor at our games. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Our organization runs smoothly every single game, every single time you get to the ballpark, due to the experience and skill of our front office staff, as well as game day staffers who pour everything they've got to bring a world-class experience to our fans. We couldn't do it without the generous support of our community and sponsors, and of course, the players who take the field every day. I'm honored to be a part of the York Revolution team and look forward to continuing to bring great baseball, great food, lots of fun, and whether it's Bark in the Park every Wednesday, Girl Scout sleepover, Taylor Swift night, Friday, June 13th, Jewish Heritage Night, Juneteenth, or Faith Fest, or one of our many sponsored theme nights, stay tuned. We'll hope to have you come out and join us as we prepare for another championship run. We're not able to provide baseball without your help. I'm supposed to remind you that the team store's open downstairs on your way out. Thank you. Let's go, Revs.
And with that, we'll open it up to questions for any of our three speakers today. Yes.
Yes.
Players. Do you have a scouting group?
That's a really good question.
The question was, how do I find players? Many ways. I'm on an email list with a number of people within Major League Baseball that when players get released from whichever organization, they'll send me emails with contact information for the player and the agent that represents the player. Sometimes players get my contact information directly from somebody that they know or somebody that's played for me before. So just for me doing this is your I don't know,
2021 managing, so my network has kind of grown over the years.
So
I'm fortunate that I get
calls
or emails from a number of different people. Other questions? Yeah.
I have a question about the baseballs. So I had to make sure I got this right. Major League Baseball uses a special mud harvested from the banks of the Delaware River. Only a few people know its location. So you're going to mud the ball? So where's the mud coming from?
It's the same mud, same river. But I'll tell you a funny anecdote about this. We made the decision to move forward with the QR code on a baseball in all of 60 seconds. Literally, somebody on the staff said, "Have you ever thought about it?" I said, "That's the greatest idea I've ever heard. We're going to do it." So with that, we started testing. And so we're working very closely with our factory to get strike-offs, to make sure we have the right technology behind the QR codes, all things that I know very little about, but others do know a lot about, and so we kind of did that. And then we started testing. We test our baseballs in 2 academic settings. One happens to be the same testing lab that Major League Baseball uses for all of their baseballs. That's our secret. They don't know we have their specs. But we then did it. We had amateur testing. We had a couple of baseball pitching and batting academies using the ball because we wanted to make sure that this wouldn't create interference. We had it covered. Now, we order our baseballs in July, the year prior to the season. So July of 2024, we submitted our order. The baseballs began production in late August. In September, I'm on a call with Eric and Sarah, now Ben. It's a bi-weekly call with all of our senior operators. And I extolled the virtues of all of our testing and how prepared we are for the season, and everybody should get on board with the QR code, until finally somebody says on the call, "Did you rub any of the baseballs with mud to see if this would work?" We got a dozen strike-offs from the factory that afternoon, and the factory's in Asia, but we got a dozen strike-offs, and then we test them. Thank goodness they work. So yes, we use them.
Well, I'll give Frank credit. He played pretty cool on that call. It sounded like he had it covered. Other questions?
Will the Atlantic League be using the torpedo bat?
Will the Atlantic League be using torpedo bats?
Yes, they're perfectly legal, so there's no reason for us not to.
Are there other rule-making experiments that you can tell us about?
Now, the question is, are there other rules experiments that Rick can tell us about?
I have to be very careful about what I'm going to say. Everybody in this room is familiar with the developments around federal tariffs. Our baseball is made in China. The cost of our baseball went up by 27.5 percentage points from the time we ordered it until the time it was delivered. And again, one of the reasons we do this is to save money against a conventional baseball, which we actually make a great baseball. What we're looking at now is a bit of a variance on a rule, but it's something that is important to us as we embark upon our new broadcast future. And that is the creation of statistical packages that we'll create for all of our teams. We have advanced analytics through TrackMan. We have a new clipping service we can use to trim highlights. And then we want to take a combination of those and promote that to player personnel throughout the world. It's not a small enterprise. Now, it's not necessarily a rule, but it's the confluence of some early kind of advanced thinking about how we can turn 74 player transfers into an even larger amount. So that's what we're working on pretty hard right now.
Phil.
Eric, last year on July 8th, your
the Brooks Robinson Classic was held. Do you have a date for this year's event?
Yes, I do, but I don't have it off the top of my head.
So
So Phil is asking about the Brooks Robinson Classic, our annual golf tournament, which benefits New York City Little League and the YMCA of York and York County and their Strong Kids program, which provides scholarships for youth to have YMCA memberships who couldn't otherwise afford them. We will have a Brooks Robinson Classic event again this year, and I completely fumbled that. Ben, don't do that next year.
Any other questions?
Yeah, George.
Does it seem like the professional baseball players are getting more injuries?
I'll actually ask Rick Forney to come on this. The question was, does it seem as if Major League Baseball players and all professional baseball players are suffering more injuries than in the past?
That's a good question. I think injuries have been prevalent in the game for a really long time. I think the number of significant injuries have gone up only because I think the kids are getting bigger, stronger, faster, and let's face it, they're throwing harder nowadays. And in order to get into affiliated baseball for a pitcher, obviously there's some velocity expectations, so everybody's chasing velocity, and it's a lot of max effort throwing, not just during the season, but throughout the off-season training. And our arms and our bodies only have so many available throws in them, and at some point, regardless of your family genetics, I mean, we're all at risk of getting hurt. So injuries are a part of it. I think more season-ending injuries that require, like Tommy John surgery, is happening more often than we'd like.
Anyone else?
Going once, going twice. All right, back to you, first of all.
All right. Eric, Rick, and Ben, they made it very easy today. Thank you so much for hosting us at WellSpan Park here today. It was an absolute home run. The energy, continuous innovations of the team, and of course the ballpark food. This is one of the few places I will eat a hot dog. They were a perfect way to warm up for the 2025 York Revolution season. We are all looking forward to cheering you on this season, and I hope to see all fellow Rotarians at a ball game this year. So Rotarians, how about another round of applause? As you all know, we, instead of giving the speakers a gift, we purchase a book and ask them to sign the book plate and donate it to a local school. This week's book will be donated to the York Academy Regional Charter School in York City, along with a bookmark made by the students at Creative York. So it's I am Martin Luther King Jr. Next week, we will welcome Dr. Tristan Erickson, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering at York College. He is the primary advisor to the York College Formula SAE Capstone design team. In this project, a team of more than 20 engineering students design and build a Formula-style race car to compete annually in a Society of Automotive Engineers intercollegiate competition at Michigan International Speedway. So in case you're wondering what the SAE is, I believe, by note of deduction there, is the Society of Automotive Engineers. Dr. Erickson will describe a yearly journey of working with his students to develop a competition-ready vehicle from the ground up. So it sounds like it's going to be a very interesting program. And with that, this meeting is now adjourned.